Theo, could you share how your communication and engagement strategy has evolved in Dayton since the beginning of the pandemic?
Sure. Well, on our end of things, we kind of started out the traditional way. So we went through traditional modes of communication to start off with. One of the things that we added along the way was, and we used our utility billing services to mail stuff, a lot of our information. Another area we kind of evolved into was our Economic Development Corporation. Jumped in, and what they did was they started printing the disposable menus for our local restaurants, which gave us an opportunity to talk to the business owners one-on-one, give them a service while at the same time sitting them down and talking about the public health issues going on, treat it as a public education opportunity. We thought that really helped a lot on the word of mouth portion of it, because our restaurants are a great gathering place for people to talk about what is going on, what is not going on, what is the city of Dayton doing. Being in Texas, obviously, we have Governor Abbott, who kind of started out not really wanting to have a whole lot of executive order authority given to local governments, and then midway through the pandemic, it changed. Having already built those channels of communication with our local businesses really helped us along the way in explaining the changes in policy in Texas. We also used Facebook, usually through the county. We worked with our local hospital to also help in buttressing the argument as to why certain restrictions were in place. So it was really great for us to have the county judge and our hospital administrator working with the city managers and mayors to have one continuous drumbeat, one message, what is going on in Liberty County as a whole. And so we'd have a daily briefing behind the scenes before they went out with their videos. And I thought that really helped a lot too, having multi-levels of the government saying the exact same thing. That was a very huge part of it as well. So, it kind of morphed over time. Started out thinking press releases may be enough, going into the businesses, providing a service to open communications, having Facebook and our other social media as part of it evolved into it as well. And similar to what Al was saying, was that at first we had a whole lot of interest, but I think fatigue has set in. And so what we did was we have tried to actually scale back some, so that when changes, if there's any issues going on, we want to make sure that when we hit the public, that we're that there's obviously something major going on, because we did see a lot of our numbers trail off, especially by the end of the summer. About the time, sometime I would say probably around August is when we really started seeing our numbers dropping, and that's when we kind of sat back a little bit and really tried to measure when we outreach to the public.
Theo, do you have it sounds like you've got some pretty good intergovernmental relationships going on in the county?
Yes. So it was really great to be able to work with the county and our hospital district. We have a taxing entity that supports our local hospital. And so having the hospital administrator, county judge involved were very important in helping with what is truth. That goes back to what we were just discussing. What is the truth? Well, sometimes it's, sure, the city government saying this, but if the county judge is saying something completely different, that can undermine the whole situation. So that is very important, that on our daily briefings with the mayors of the county, the city managers of the county attorney, county judge, hospital administrator, we were getting daily briefings. What are the talking points, and on what the next steps were, where were we going to take the restrictions? Everyone was on the same page. In fact, we went so far as to make sure that all the resolutions had similar language, that we didn't vary in our language as to what the restrictions were, even in resolutions and proclamations by the mayor.
Well, that's great. I love the way that you have brought in the public sector and involved them in that whole engagement process. The idea about connecting on the printing of restaurant menus is a very creative way to make those connections. And I imagine it had a pretty good impact on building relationships with those businesses. I'm sure.
Well, most of those restaurants don't have I mean, before the pandemic, how many restaurants had, I take for granted that I have a copy machine, that can handle thousands of copies. Most restaurants don't work that way. Your mom and pop cafe does not have a printer that can handle 1,000